All right, guys, coming at you with another video. Today, I'm going to talk to you guys about uh, what I did to make my portfolio drop by 50%. Guys, this wasn't like we weren't in a recession. We weren't in the bear market at the time. We didn't have a flash crash. This wasn't COVID. We didn't really have major going on. Um, the reason why my portfolio dropped 50% was a decision that I made. I thought it was a good decision, but it it was not. I mean, it really bit me in the butt. So basically, I'm going to tell you my experience that I had, back in 2021, and that's the year I made the mistake. Um, so back in 2021, my mindset was different than now. My mindset in 2021 was make as much money as possible and make the money as fast as possible. So, you know, I didn't have a, so my mindset was no index investing. No, I'm not going to invest in the S&P 500. I'm not going to invest in, the QQQ. I'm not going to invest in any index funds. I'm not going to invest in, any ETFs because those returns were low. The S&P 500 returns 10%, QQQ, like the Nasdaq's index or ETFs, they are returning 14%. That just didn't cut it for me. Like, I wanted to have six figures within 5 years. So what I ended up doing, I ended up looking, up individual stocks. So not only that I'm looking up individual stocks, but I'm looking at, stocks that are like extremely risky, like the Nvidias, the Teslas, the Palantirs, some like electric car, electric car stocks, like Lucid, Rivian, and one ETF that I stumbled upon was Neo. So I'm, looking through Robinhood, just seeing what's out there. So I'm looking at Neo, and this is before I made this purchase. So I look at it, and it is $2 a share. And this was back in 2019. I didn't start investing it until 2021. So years go by, right? It went from $2 a share to around $60 a share. So it was 30x. I knew it was a fairly new company, and looking at the 30x, going it from $2 a share to $60 a share, I told myself, like, this is what I want. This is what I want. This is going to be my money maker right here, right? And um so I kind of do a little bit of my research, I have, so with the brokerage account with Robinhood, they give you the description. Now, if you guys don't know what Neo is, Neo is a, it's very similar to Tesla. They make electric cars, they make charging stations, etc. So, the 30x and everything. So I'm like, okay, fine. So I go on YouTube and I look it up. And so I look at the stock, and there's like plenty of suggestions of like YouTubers that are talking about the stock. So I got on the channel, and this YouTuber that he was talking about Neo, he was talking about, he was extremely bullish on Neo. And again, this was in 2021. And he was basically talking about Neo, how it's going to be a Tesla killer, and how it's going to spread all around the nation and whatnot. And Neo's going to do great things. And this YouTuber, he, back at the time, I don't know if he does it now because I don't watch him. But he did price prediction. He did like a 5-year price prediction. So, on Neo, and on Neo, at the time it was around like 30 to 40 bucks a share. So it dropped from like $64 a share to like 30 to 40 bucks a share. And he was talking about it, and like I said, extremely bullish. I know I'm kind of repeating myself, but just bear with me. So he's like, oh yeah, in 2026, Neil is gonna go up to $300 a share, and I'm like, oh my god, like, like jackpot. Like, all I gotta do is just, keep investing for 5 years, and I'll have like three, four, $500,000. Oh my god, this is awesome. I mean, it sounded very promising. Um, and you know, after listening to this YouTuber, I ended up doing a little digging. So I ended up looking at the financial sheets, like the financial statements, balance sheet, cash flow statements. Um, they weren't really generating a lot of revenue at the time, and um, they were not profitable. They were still in the negative, but I had hope. And the reason why I had hope, because this big YouTuber with 500,000 subscribers, with 1,000 people in his Patreon, he has hundreds of thousands, even maybe even millions of dollars. The reason, since he had all that, I trusted him. I trusted him on his information. And that's where the big mistake lied, right? So I said, okay, I got $1,600. I'm going to put it all into Neil stock, right? Now, at the time, there was some good news going along in the stock. Okay, yeah, it's expanding. You're hearing all this good news. So I'm getting real excited, right? Good news comes up, and my stock goes up 50%. So it went from 1,600 to 2,400. Now, a month after the portfolio peak, then bad news started to happen. The stock started to go down, 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 down. So I'm not really too worried about it at that time, but it started to go down. And not only that it go down, not only that it went down to 1,600 to my original value, but it went down to like 1,200. So it dropped 50% from my all-time highs, but it dropped 25% from my initial investment. So that's where, that's where I'm coming at with the 50% drop. So I'm kind of losing hope at the time, but even though my portfolio is at $1,200, again, I'm losing hope, but I still got some hope in me. So unfortunately, I had to take that money out. I ran into a little emergency, so that $1,200 that I had to take it out and, deploy that somewhere else to take care of that emergency. And months after that, so I had no money in Neo stock. So months after that, I'm looking at the stock. It's going down. It's going down. Now it's bad news after bad news after bad news. And it's just not looking good for the stock. So it went from, so when I invested in it, it was like maybe 30, 40 bucks a share. And then it went back up to 64. And then it went back. And then at the peak, it went down like a month after my peak, a month or two after my peak, it went down $62 a share, $57 a share, $50 a share, $45 a share, 30 bucks a share, 25 bucks a share, 15 bucks a share. So it was going down. Now it went up and down, but overall, it just went down. And again, like I said, I had hope for it, but several months went by, it was just going down. It went down to 15, it went down to 10. And now, looking at, and I looked at my phone today, and I checked the Neo stock, and it's around like $4.85 a share, and it's been hovering around maybe $4 to $6 a share. It's been doing that for years, and in a 5-year period, it dropped 90%. So why am I telling the story? So I'm telling the story to kind of teach a lesson. And basically the lesson is do your own due diligence. And a lot of you guys who are who watch my videos a lot, what do I always say? Do I say it in every video? No. But I always say I'm not a financial advisor. Please do your own due diligence. And even a lot of YouTubers, big YouTubers, small YouTubers, they always say, please do your own due diligence. So what that means, if you don't know, is whatever information that you get from a YouTuber, take it with a grain of salt. You know, whatever information a YouTuber gives you, actually go and look it up, and don't just take anybody's word from it. Even my word. Any information that I give you, take with a grain of salt and look it up. Now, I'm not the type of YouTuber that's going to deceive you. And if I do give you the wrong information, call me out, and I will correct myself. So my intentions are good. I'm not here to deceive or harm or make your portfolios crash or whatnot. I am just a YouTuber that is talking about my investing in journey, what my investing journey was in the past, and what I'm doing in the future. And basically all the information that I know, I want to pass it along to you. And even though I'm passing information along to you guys, I'm still learning as well, and I will still, make mistakes in the future. All right, guys, that's all I have of you. If you guys found this video helpful and informative, please like the video, please share, and subscribe to my channel. Guys, thank you for tuning in. See you guys in the next video.